Happy lunch hour, gang. Okay, exercise here. I want you to think back to your life in the 60s and 70s. Some of you guys might not even have been around then. But this is when we go back to, leaded gasoline, rotary telephones. Hell, you could actually find a payphone. Rabbit ears on your TV. There was no pay TV whatsoever. Certainly weren't cell phones, the internet, anything like that, right? Remember those days. Technology's moved a little forward in a generation or two here as we move on along. And yet, we're still at the mercy of 1960s technology. We think it's normal. We don't worry about it whatsoever. The other day I told you guys about electricity rates going up 35% for 60 some odd million people, or up to 35%. A lot of you guys commented on there that your bills have increased, the whole 9 yards. Did anybody notice what happened in Puerto Rico yesterday?
Another breaking news story in Puerto Rico, the entire island right now without power. Every generating plant in that U.S. territory went offline. It knocked out electricity to 1.4 million customers. Now, the last outage that affected the entire island was on New Year's Eve. Puerto Rico, of course, has struggled with chronic outages since Hurricane Maria pummeled the island, and it's already deteriorating power grid. That was back in 2017.
Yesterday, the entire island of Puerto Rico lost power. No generation, no nothing. There's videos of people that were taking mass transit, the trains or whatever, and the trains just stopped. And they had to get out of the train and walk from wherever they were to get down off a platform and get somehow to safety. The company that runs the power grid down in Puerto Rico said it'll be 2 to 3 days before everybody gets power back. This wasn't because of a hurricane. This wasn't because of terrorism or anything like that. This was the grid is wearing out. That the components are crap, okay, after so many years. And this is where I go back to saying, think about the 1960s to 1970s. More than half of our power grid in this country was built in the 1960s and 1970s. 70% of it is over 25 years old. I mean, hell, the internet's only been around for, what? Maybe the beginning of it was 30. Okay. This is the problem. We had that infrastructure bill by the Democrats during the Biden disaster. They didn't do anything spending money on infrastructure, like I talked about the other day. We have all the issues of, we've got to generate power from alternative means, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But yet, nobody increased the grid, the transmission lines. We've talked about parts that all come from China. And it was 2 to 3 years a year ago that it would take to get parts for a transformer. Down the street, the transformer. If the transformer blew, you may not get the parts. They were scavenging parts from other places to fix power transformers. And now we have an issue with a trade war. What do you think that's going to do for getting parts? Well, we'll build them here, right? Again, it's not like we take a magic wand and go, poof, there's a new manufacturing facility that's going to make parts for electrical transformers. We're coming into hurricane season. We already know what tornado season is doing here this spring. I mean, ask the folks in Arkansas. let alone everywhere else. But power is a necessity for a lot of people. I'm not just talking about turning the lights on or keeping the air conditioner running when it's 90 degrees out. I'm talking about people that are on life-saving electrical equipment, that they need it. You know, maybe it's more than a nebulizer or something that you have. Maybe it's literally you need electricity to live. And we have a grid that's crumbling, that's falling apart right before our very eyes. We have brownouts and blackouts a lot in California, but in other places of the country too. What is your plan? Do you have one? God knows the country doesn't. We have the only electrical infrastructure in the country or in the world that isn't on a plan. It's just, well, we'll plug this in here, we'll plug that in here, blah, blah, blah. And it's slipshod the whole way through trying to get power to us. You get up in the morning, you hit the light switch in the bathroom to go shit, shower, and shave. You don't even think about it. The lights come on. Until they don't. And then imagine you get up tomorrow morning and the lights don't come on. You want to brush your teeth. There's no light. What are your plans? Sure, you go get a flashlight, light a candle, grab an oil lamp. We should all have that stuff. But I bet that wasn't on your plan in the morning to fire that up. You're trying to get ready for work. Okay? Got to shave. But that hot water heater didn't work overnight because the power went out. So now you get a nice cold shower, nice cold shave. Ooh, joy. That's always fun. Maybe there's no power at work. Guess you have the day off. Oh, that means you don't get paid. Okay. Got your Tesla? Guess it didn't charge in your garage overnight, so you don't have any way to get to work. This is all the stuff that nobody pays attention to. Yet it's right there in front of us. We all saw what happened in Germany last winter. Well, all the solar panels were covered with snow, and so we have no power. Okay. We need to have backups. Two backups. The country needs to prepare like you and I prepare. What's the backup power generation? Oh, well, we'll get it from somebody else, when we don't have the power here. Yeah, remember that in Texas a few years ago? And when people were getting, it was $100 a day for their power or whatever. Remember that? Because they had to get the transmission from Kansas or Nebraska where it was coming down, travel the power through the power line, so it was ridiculously expensive. What's your plan? Seriously. Especially if it's critical. Do you have one? Have you given it thought? Maybe you have given it thought, but have you acted upon it? For 5 years, I've shown you guys portable power stations, generators. Okay. Frankly, I hope you took advantage of something, whether you got a gas generator, whether you got a solar generator, whether it's even feasible for you. I mean, I don't know, how feasible are solar generators in Seattle when it rains all the time? Maybe not. I don't know, Or if you live in northern Alaska where it's dark for 6 months, probably not that efficient, Yeah, there's different solutions for everybody. But the thing that we don't ever talk about is something breaking down because it's old. We talk about crap from China because it's poorly made, or we talk about wars, or we talk about the government screwing something up, and this is why the price of something is more expensive, or the fact that we have shortages, or, whatever the latest pandemic lie they can come up with. Oh, this is why we don't have eggs, or oh, this is why we don't have pork or beef or chicken or whatever, why we don't have lettuce, why we don't have blueberries, right? We'll talk about that. But never does anybody talk about just obsolescence. That stuff just got old. We've spent all this money, billions of dollars, getting internet to everybody. Technology's improved. I mean, y'all, at least I can remember, probably a lot of you guys do too, dial-up internet, and the little beep, 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 America Online. Remember that stuff? Okay. Where, you had a picture on your computer. It'd take 5 minutes to download the entire picture, line by line of pixels. But we improved all that. We've, improved our internet capabilities so wonderfully. Used to be build a house 20 years ago. Okay, build a house, and you'd have Cat5 cables, cable boxes all over the place. I mean, you go in when they were framing the house, and there were wires running everywhere because you had phone wires for your landline, you had Cat5 wires, you had cable TV wires and stuff like that. Not so much anymore. Very few people have landline telephones, don't need those. Dial-up internet, I don't even know if any exist anymore, so you don't need the phone lines. Cat5, okay, maybe there's still some of that, okay. Cable TV, most people are getting, cutting the cord. Most people are getting their television via the internet, via internet signal, which is Wi-Fi, okay. So it's floating through the air. We figured out how to improve all that. Speed, just quality, everything. But the grid, nobody worries about that. Not at all. Nope. We're still running on 60-year-old technology. That's what's in the ground. Or hanging from the poles above you. We haven't improved it. We just put a Band-Aid on it until we can't. And then what's your plan? One of the most important things, food and water obviously would be the most important. You need those. Most people don't absolutely need electricity. Everybody needs food and water. But life's a hell of a lot easier with electricity. To see, to cook, to clean, to do everything, right? And there may come a day where we don't have it, where the grid just completely fails, where it's not 2 to 3 days to fix it, where it's 2 to 3 months, or it's an EMP and it's 2 to 3 years. And then what? I implore everybody, so many times that I talk about deals on backup power that you can get, I implore you to seriously consider this stuff. The prices are coming way down. You don't have to hook up a whole house setup, but at least if you've got medical needs, get something. At least something where you can keep the fridge and the freezer so your food doesn't go bad. Maybe even turn on the lights. Charge a phone, charge a radio, something like that. So you have some way of getting information or communicating with somebody. In the description below, I'm going to put links to a couple of sales that are going on this weekend for Easter from Opus and from Wellbots. Both of them are having Easter sales. Both of them are giving us an added discount. See if you can pick up one of these, if you can. Try to show you guys what I can. We've reviewed many products from both EcoFlow and from Opus. If it doesn't fit your budget, figure out how to make it fit your budget. They ain't that expensive anymore. When you're looking at some of the stuff that you can get, it's $300, $400. Okay. That's, oh, I don't know, the cost of going out to dinner every Friday for a month. That's it, right? You can figure out how to do it. You just have to want to. And I know there's always people out there who go, this stuff's too expensive, I can't do it. And those are going to be the same people that, when the grid fails, are going to go, I should have done this. Don't be one of those people. Pinball out.